y'all, Jessie B. Scrapbooking back with another process video. This one is for the 6x6 paper pad class that I am taking. And I think this is week 15. We're almost done with it. So here's the paper pad I'm going to be using. I picked it up, I believe, at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, one or the other. And I really like it, so I'm going to come through and pick out some of the papers. And then here are the pictures I'm going to be doing. These are some pictures of my husband and I working on the equipment up in the woods, and the sketch calls for 3 2x2s and 2 4x4s. I am turning the sketch because it won't fit on my 8.5 by 11 this way like it's supposed to, so I'm going to do this way, and I think it'll be fun. Let's get going. Okay, so first thing I did was pick out my papers, and now I'm going to cut a 2-inch strip off of each paper, and then cut that 2-inch strip into 2-inch squares. So I'm going to do that with all 6 pieces of paper that I picked out, except for that striped one in the top corner. And I'm not going to make you watch it all because it's just the same thing over and over. And now I'm going to take those 2x2 squares, and I am going to cut them in half diagonally so that I will have a whole bunch of triangles. So this striped paper I'm going to use as a border, so I am taking a 1/4 inch off of it. So I have 4 1/4 inch stripes. Alright, so now I'm going to figure out how I want to place my pictures. I am going to follow the sketch pretty close and kind of how they have arranged, and I'm just squaring it up here. I think they had an extra layer or extra row that I didn't put on because this filled the page nicely. So here I am. I'm just going to come up 2.5 inches from the bottom, and I'm going to put a light line just to give me a spot to put my pictures down so they're nice and square. And these 4x4 pictures are going to come in about a 1/4 inch on the side. So I'm going to use my ruler to make the 1/4 inch spot, and then use that line that I drew to keep it square on the bottom. And then this one I'm just going to butt right up to that picture. And it worked out really well. They actually got pretty square. So now I am going to start adding in these smaller pictures where I want them. So I'm going to use this ruler as a straight edge here, and the picture I just put down is of my truck with the fire pumper on the back of it. And then this picture I'm putting up on top here is my husband torching off the we had grousers on the tracks that he didn't want anymore. They were falling off and they were making it really hard to turn. So he torched those off, and I was up in the dangle head moving the tracks for him. So that's a picture of me up inside of that big orange machine. And yeah, so the top picture is just my view from the machine. And then the big picture of the machine itself is my husband washing it, because you have to have the machines washed before they go on to another job, just to make sure you don't take any kinds of weeds or anything from one woods to the next. We have to make sure there's no cross contamination. So that's what we were doing. And now what I'm doing is taking all these little triangles and turning them back into squares, but with a different partner. So it kind of gives it that patched work or a quilt vibe. And I'm just going to mess with them until I get them how I want them. And then I'm going to glue them down off camera because nothing moved. I just picked up each piece, glued it, and put it back down. So now I'm trying to figure out how I want to put my little stripes, and I don't like them. This is how they are in the sketch, but I didn't like the way that they looked on the sides there. So I'm just going to take them off and yeah. So I decided instead of stitching, because Allison Davis does a lot of stitching, hand stitching on her layouts. And I didn't want to do the faux stitching with a pin again because I do that a lot. So this time I decided to bring in this black puffy paint. And I am going to do, make a puffy line around the different triangles. And at first I was doing it as a dotted line, but then I decided I liked it as the full line. So these triangles got messed up on me. They were facing the wrong direction. So I'm just fixing them real fast because they did not make this bigger triangle here. They were back to back. So I fixed that. And now I am going to put some more faux stitching lines with my puffy paint on these squares here, or triangles here, not squares. And that's where I decided I really did like the full line instead of the dotted. So I'm going back over the first ones I did and turning them into full lines. And then I'm going to sit there and let that dry for a little bit because it is puffy paint. And after it was dry, I'm coming back in with my title, which is just going to be Awesome Life. And this awesome was popped up on some foam tape, and it sat too high, I thought. So I pulled the foam off and just adhered it flat down. It is already a puffy, so it still looks good. And then these butterflies were just perfect colors for this. And so I'm going to put 3 of them, but I'm not using the whole butterfly. I'm just tearing off the top portion, so I still have these butterflies for something else later. And I'm just popping them up with the glue that was holding them down earlier, and that works really good. And one wing of each butterfly is kind of popped up in the air. And these are just some little tiny white puffy hearts, and so I sprinkled a couple of them around the butterflies. And then I'm bringing in these word phrases by Tim Holtz, and the first one I put down says, "I'm happiest when I'm with you." And then I put, "Make today count," "Attitude is everything," and "All you need is love," are the 4 that I put down. And I love going out and working in the woods with my husband. So those were fun. And now I'm doing a couple little butterfly trails on 2 of the butterflies. The other one sat on the title a little bit too much, so I didn't put a butterfly trail on it. And this is where I decided to bring in those stripes again, but this time, instead of on the sides, I'm going to put them on the top and the bottom. And that puffy paint wasn't quite dry, so I got a little bit on there, but I am just going to cover it with this other stripe, and you'll never know that I messed up there. And I'm going to put it on this side too, and that is going to be it. This turned out really cute, and it was really fast and easy to do, and it didn't take much embellishments because of all the pattern and the paper, and I really liked how it turned out. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. Bye.